My name is John Meeks. I'm the director of the Criminal Justice Institute here at Hillsborough Community College. On behalf of Hillsborough Community College President Dr. Ken Atwater and Ybor City Campus President Dr. Sean Robinson, welcome to the graduation ceremony today for Law Enforcement Academy Class 1803. And at this time, I would ask that you please rise for the entrance of the graduates and remain standing for the presentation of colors by the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office Honor Guard and the Pledge of Allegiance led by Cadet Ricardo Nagan, Class Vice President.
Half left, face.
Forward, face. Present, arm.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order, arms. Ready, face.
Half right, face.
Audience, you may be seated.
Ready, seat.
Audience, let's give the Honor Guard a round of applause for being here today. The Honor Guard is an all-volunteer unit at the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. Those deputies have other full-time duties and responsibilities. So for them to be here today, they're having to adjust their schedule, so it's always appropriate to give them a round of applause for being here today to do that. Once again, welcome to the Ybor City campus and the graduation commencement for Law Enforcement Class 1802. At this time, what I'd like to do is take this opportunity to thank Sheriff Chad Chronister and his entire command staff that are sitting over there today for allowing us to set aside this time today to recognize the graduates who are up here on the stage. They've achieved a milestone in their early law enforcement careers. Their first milestone, quite frankly, was actually getting hired by the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. Not everybody who applies at the Sheriff's Office is honored with the privilege of becoming Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office deputy. So the fact that they were actually hired was a first milestone and an accomplishment in of itself. The second thing that they had to do is they had to complete academy orientation training prior to coming to HCC and starting the law enforcement training program with them. So in a sense, you might say that would be their second accomplishment. And then their third accomplishment is completing the state required law enforcement training that's required of all law enforcement officers and deputies. And so they're completing that. And I know the Sheriff's Office goal is that these cadets here today are going to retire from the Sheriff's Office in 20, 25, or 30 years. So this will be hopefully their only graduation ceremony that they'll ever have, unless they're sent off to command school somewhere else. Then they'll have some individual ceremonies at that point. So we like to take this opportunity to recognize them for their accomplishments for completing that. But so you'll have a better appreciation and a deeper understanding of what those accomplishments are. Let me give you a little bit of background information about the law enforcement training program. The state of Florida, not HCC, not the sheriff's office, the state of Florida requires every law enforcement officer to receive a minimum of 770 hours of basic training. That amounts to about 22 weeks of training if you're going through the program full-time like the cadets did Monday through Friday. During those 22 weeks, these cadets had to take 18 written examinations and 5 practical skills tests. In order to pass those 18 written examinations, these cadets had to score no less than 80% on every single one of those examinations. Didn't matter how many questions were on the test, whether it was 10, 50, 100, 200, they had to score a minimum of 80%. To put that in perspective for you, if you can flash back to your high school days or your college days, if you got a 79 on a test, that would be considered a B- or a C+. Here in the academy, it's considered an F. We only award 3 letter grades, A's, B's, and S, because the margin for error for a law enforcement deputy is very, very small. They can't afford to be wrong too many times. So the state sets those academic standards very, very high for them. And then they had to take, in some of these courses, a number of practical skills exams, and we're going to be awarding some specialized awards. You can see them listed on your program. So, for example, when they get to firearms training, they have to score no less than 80% during the firearms course, both on their written exam as well as the practical skills test. When they get to unarmed self-defense training, we call it defensive tactics, they have to score 80% on the written exam, but they have to score 100% perfect on their skills test. And then when they get to vehicle operations, they have to score 80% on their written test, and then 100%, and then 80% on their practical skills test. And then when they get to first aid, it's a little bit different. Now they have to score 80% on their written test and 100% on their practical skills test. So you can see these graduates have all achieved those requirements. So the fact that they're setting up here and meeting those rigid academic standards, I think, is worthy of applause in of itself. Let's give them a round of applause for that. And of course, I'm sure some of you probably do have an appreciation for that if you were their study partners quizzing them the night before, or maybe you were the practice dummy on handcuffing techniques or some of the other stuff that they were learning in first aid. So you probably feel like you deserve that certificate and that diploma as well. And because of your help and your support behind the scenes and some of those hours that you probably devoted to the graduates, we want you to understand that this is truly a celebration of the accomplishments that they have achieved in the academy up to this point in their early law enforcement careers. And because it's a celebration, feel free to take pictures, feel free to videotape. I know the Sheriff's Office is doing those as well, and I'm sure they'll share some of that information with you out on social media, but you're certainly welcome to take pictures throughout this ceremony. There are going to be some photo opportunities. We're going to be presenting some specialized awards in a little bit. Feel free to come down the center of the aisle and stand there next to Casey, the Sheriff's Office photographer, and you'll be more than happy to get some pictures. The graduates are going to be called up a little later in the program, alphabetically as they appear on your program. Feel free to come down to this center aisle as your graduate is receiving their diploma from HCC today. After the ceremony is over with, we're going to remove the table and the podium out of the way, and then they're going to take a class photo up here on the steps. And if you want to take some family photos or friend photos, you're certainly welcome to come up and do that as well. So there'll be plenty of opportunities for you to take some photos throughout the day. And because it is a celebration of their accomplishments, and this is a milestone for them, feel free to show your enthusiasm, your excitement for the graduates. If you want to smile, if you want to clap, if you want to give a shout out or a hoot and holler, you certainly earned that right because we know that you've put the time and the energy in to support them. And hopefully they in turn will show their appreciation back to you as well. Okay? So at this time, what I'd like to do is introduce our guests that are seated up here on your stage right there to my left. Let me just kind of go down the list. First, we have an empty seat there, and Dr. Sean Robinson is the Ybor City Campus President. I mentioned his name earlier. He's been delayed. He's expected to be here, so we've kept his seat open. Hopefully he'll be able to join us before the ceremony's over with, and then if he does, he'll be available to present the diplomas in a little bit. So just to let you know, we may have a late arrival. If not, he said to press on without him, and that's what we're certainly going to do. Next, we have Colonel Davis from the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, who's the commander of the Patrol Services Department. He's listed on the program today as our keynote speaker, and he'll be helping pass out the programs as well. So we appreciate Colonel Kenneth Davis for being here today. Next, we have Master Deputy Scott Johnston from the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. He's a firearms instructor, and he's going to be presenting the Firearms Award today. Next after that, we have Senior Probation Officer Mike Cogdinola from the Department of Corrections, Probation, and Parole. He's our lead defensive tactics instructor, so he'll be presenting that award this afternoon. Next, we have, looks like we're missing somebody. We have retired Deputy Dominic Desiato from Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, who's here today to present the driving award. I guess I need to look at the script and make sure I'm looking down so I don't skip over somebody. And we appreciate him coming back today and presenting the driving award. How appropriate to have a motorcycle motor guy to do that, who still is very active on his motorcycle and does competitions as well. Next down there to his left, we have driver engineer Kerwin Stokes from Tampa Fire Rescue to present the First Aid Award. You may not think it, but during the Law Enforcement Academy, the graduates have to complete 48 hours of emergency first responder training. Even though we have fire rescue and paramedics, oftentimes law enforcement officers are the first ones to respond to the scene of an accident or an emergency situation. So, they have to take action right away. We can't wait until fire rescue get there. So they actually go through a national program that was developed years ago by the Department of Transportation called Medical First Responder. Who's better to teach that course than our paramedics who do that job every single day out there on the street? So we appreciate that driver engineer Kerwin Stokes could be here today to present the award on behalf of our fire department paramedics. And then next down there to the end, we have Deputy Kevin Sambatina. He's the class coordinator for the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. So he's also been their supervisor at the Sheriff's Office. He's also been our liaison here at the college. So thank you for all your support behind the scenes. So anytime we need assistance or help related to this class, we just pick up the phone and call him, and he's there to help us. So it's truly a mutual aid, mutual work thing that we do together. And then last down there on the end, we have Mr. James Snap from Hillsborough Community College. He's our class coordinator, so he works closely with the Sheriff's Office to make sure that these graduates are able to achieve their accomplishments. So let's give all of our guests a round of applause for being here. And again, to the Sheriff's Office, Chad Chronister, and the command staff, thank you for being here again today and supporting us. We appreciate that. So let me introduce our next speaker. Colonel Kenneth Davis is a lifelong resident of Hillsborough County. He's been employed with the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office since 1988. He began his career as a law enforcement deputy and has worked in a variety of assignments to include the Environmental Unit, Marine Unit, the Professional Standards Unit, and Legal Unit. Colonel Davis has also served as a supervisor at various ranks in patrol, criminal investigations, special investigations, internal affairs, and the Homeland Security Division. So you can see, in order to be an executive level command staff person, you need to have that well-rounded background and career and knowledge of the agency, and he certainly has that. In 2010, he transitioned to the Department of Detention Services as the commander of Jail Division 2, the Falkenberg Road Jail. In February of 2013, Colonel Davis became the department commander for the Department of Detention Services, where he was responsible for the Orient Road Jail, the Falkenberg Road Jail, and the Court Operations Division, as well as Jail Support Services. So you can see his duties and responsibilities just kept expanding. Colonel Davis has a Bachelor's of Arts degree in Criminal Justice from St. Leo University. He attended the Southern Police Institute's 119th Administrative Officers course at the University of Louisville, which is a big deal, in 2008, where he received the Director's Award for graduating first in his class. Did you hear that, graduates? Okay. Colonel Davis also attended the 50th session of the Senior Management Institute developed by the Police Executive Research Forum many years ago. And in 2013, Colonel Davis attended the 253rd session of the Federal Bureau of Investigation's National Academy. So my point, graduates, don't think that your education and your training is ending today because you're finishing the academy. Yes, you have phase 3 with the modular field training, but it doesn't matter how far you go in your career, you're constantly going to be doing education and training. So just keep that in mind as you progress. And every time you get the opportunity to take additional senior management classes and leadership classes, take full advantage of that. Take full advantage of your opportunities. And on a personal note, Colonel Davis is an avid outdoorsman and an accomplished custom knife maker. So, Colonel, I want to know, we ever going to see you on Forged in Fire? Do you watch that show? No. I think it's a good show. I'm impressed. So let's give Colonel Davis a warm welcome for being here.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the 3,500 plus men and women of the Sheriff's Office, we want to welcome you here this afternoon. Sheriff Chronister and Chief Lazinski, you guys may have been paying attention in the last few months. There's been this little campaign election thing going on. That's, while you think that ended yesterday, there's still lingering, I guess, tasks for them to take care of today. They're kind of busy today, so they couldn't be with us, but they send their wishes to the cadets. I'd like to extend a special thank you to all the family and friends who are here in support of the graduates. We're grateful that you are able to celebrate their achievement with us. Graduates, be proud. You've completed a major milestone on the way toward your goal of becoming a Hillsborough County Deputy Sheriff. Enjoy today and appreciate the hard work that you've done, both academically and physically, to be here today. As I'm sure you've shared with your family and friends, being selected to join the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office is a significant accomplishment. Academy orientation training, the academy itself, have not been easy. Just remember, what lies ahead may prove to be even more difficult. This career can consume you if you allow it. If you keep balance in family, faith, friends, and community, you can prevail. Throughout your training, you're becoming familiar with our expectations. Meeting those expectations is at times demanding. Things such as respect, honesty, compassion, and courage are non-negotiable qualities in a law enforcement officer. You must have the willingness to confront evil when you see it, and sometimes to do so without regard for your own welfare. Whether courage, in and of itself, is a moral virtue, a personality trait, or a matter of temperament, one thing is certain. Courage is more than being unafraid in the face of physical danger. The courage to choose to do what is right when everyone around you wants to do what is easy or expected is the most rare form of courage. And in my experience, it's the most difficult courage to muster when it matters the most. Being a deputy sheriff is a vocation, a calling, if you will, and it's not for everyone. If done right, it can be rewarding in ways that will astonish you. It will not be all cops and robbers, car chases, and other things that you see on television or in the movies. It will be you serving others in countless ways, both large and small. Helping a motorist change a tire, finding a lost child, calming a dispute, mentoring the youth, or bringing comfort and reassurance to a victim. There will be great times, and there will be hard times. Remember, keep your pre-law enforcement family and friends involved in your life. They will remind you of who you really are and why you chose this path. This job, your job, will be taxing. It can wear on you. It'll tax your mind, your body, and your spirit. It will also be taxing on your families and friends. You must recognize and appreciate that the people here today, your loved ones, will worry about you. That's what family members do. Never forget that every decision you make moving forward affects so much more than just you. It affects your family. A family that will soon include the men and women of the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. You must be uncompromising in adherence to the moral and ethical principles instilled in you by those who raised you and those sitting beside you. That's what got you here today. You graduate today because of your hard work. Never forget the value of hard work. Be proud, but stay humble. Be forgiving and place others ahead of yourself. It's not about you. Lead at every opportunity. Some advice. When you become deputy sheriffs, you'll be constitutional officers. You should read the Constitution of the United States. Understand the document that each of you will soon swear an oath to defend. The words, and more importantly, the spirit of its principles. One of the most rewarding aspects of a career in law enforcement is that virtually everything we do is necessary to someone. You will never lack for meaningful work if you have the right attitude. Your efforts will make a difference, no matter how small. If you do what is right, it will matter to someone. You may have many assignments throughout your career. I often tell people, worry about the job you have, and the job you want will find you. Always give more than you take. The credit and the rewards will sort themselves out. Strive to earn the respect and trust of your peers, supervisors, and the community. Graduates, be excited about your future. Your focus will soon shift to having that star pinned on your uniform. That's when this all gets real. The words on that star say who hired you. The letters on your nameplate say who raised you. Represent them both with honor and integrity. With that star comes a tremendous amount of authority and responsibility. Never confuse those things with power. Doing so will certainly lead to trouble. Remember that just because you can do something doesn't always mean you should. We congratulate you for making it to this point, and we look forward to you becoming deputy sheriffs. Congratulations.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As I was introduced, I'm James Snap. I've had the privilege of being the coordinator for this class for the last 22 weeks. I'm sure some of you have heard my name, maybe not in such a favorable light when it comes time for testing, certain things like that, but I couldn't do this alone. At the beginning of each class leadership is assigned to assist with the day-to-day management of the class. These positions carry additional responsibilities and enable the cadets selected to develop leadership early in their careers with the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. At this time, I would like to recognize the class leadership for LE 1803 and congratulate them for a job well done. First squad leader, Cadet Vanessa Russell. Second squad leader, Cadet Walter Marquez. Third squad leader, Cadet Brian Paralozzi. Fourth squad leader, Cadet Brian Skonecki. The class vice president, Cadet Ricardo Nagin. And at this time, I would like to ask the class president, Cadet Robert Bungarts, to come forward and deliver his address to the class.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. First, please allow me to speak for Class 1803 in thanking Sheriff Chronister, Chief Deputy Lazinski, and the entire command staff of the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office for the incredible opportunity to be the next class of Hillsborough County law enforcement deputies. We'd also like to thank Mr. James Snap of Hillsborough Community College and our entire cadre of instructors from the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, Tampa Police Department, Tampa Fire Rescue, and the Florida Department of Law Enforcement Probation Division. Congratulations to Class 1803 on a remarkable journey this far. Today is most definitely a day for all of us to relax and celebrate our accomplishments. To the families of today's Academy graduates, your support of and commitment to your loved one has been of utmost importance. The profession that we have embarked upon will require that same focus and diligence throughout our career. When you think of a law enforcement academy, what comes to mind? For some, maybe it's discipline, structure, or tradition. Others may say it's countless hours of studying, testing, and anxiety. For Class 1803, it was all the above. Every week was met with as much excitement as nervousness. But through the hard work, dedication, and commitment of the entire class, we sit before you, the newest graduates of the Hillsborough Community College Law Enforcement Academy. It has been both an honor and a privilege to serve as president of Class 1803. I've been the link between the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, the Hillsborough Community College, and the cadets of Class 1803. Some of my responsibilities included relaying messages between the class and our class coordinator, Deputy Smetana, preparing us for uniform inspections, and making sure we were ready for each day's assignment. But my most important responsibility was to mentor and guide the class to success. My job was easy. From day one, the cadets of Class 1803 came together as a team and worked flawlessly with one another to get the job done. Even though the class has an age range of 21 to 44 years, the focus was unanimous. Go above and beyond what was expected. This journey by any means has not been an easy one. Not only do we have a textbook of over 500 pages to study and be routinely tested from, physical training 2 to 3 times per week, we also had 4 areas of high liability: first aid, driving, firearms, and defensive tactics, where we needed to perform academically as well as physically to ensure thorough knowledge of each discipline. Every one of us has gone home at some point during our training battered, beat, and bruised. But the pain and discomfort of our training never discouraged us. It made us stronger. As we move on to the next phase of our training, we will build upon the foundation set by the Academy. I will continue to mentor and motivate the class of 1803 throughout module training. Tougher days are ahead of us, and I'm asking you, the family and friends of the cadets, to keep supporting and encouraging us. In closing, as this chapter of our career comes to an end, we greet the next one with great enthusiasm and excitement. No one knows what the future will bring, but each day is one step closer to joining the ranks of those that came before us and clearing the way for those that will come after us. Thank you. It is my honor and privilege as the class president of 1803. In keeping with tradition, I'd like to present Mr. Snap with a plaque for the wall so we can forever be remembered Ever be remembered as his favorite class. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, class. I appreciate it. This might not make it to the wall. Keep it We will now move into the presentation of awards. During the course of the 22-week academy, there have been many opportunities for the cadets to excel and set themselves apart from the other cadets. While we are here to acknowledge and commend those cadets who have successfully completed the academy, we would like to take this opportunity to identify several cadets that have stood out in the different areas of instruction. We will begin with the Firearms or Top Gun Award, and to present this award is Master Deputy Scott Johnston, Lead Firearms Instructor.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, command staff, Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, and the graduates. What is happening?
This is from class 1803.
I guess I should probably tell the story behind that a little bit. It's all right. It's a fair enough story, and it'll be short. So the first day of classroom, the cadets go through a classroom presentation, and they go through 2 weeks of extensive firearms training. On the first day of class, they come into the classroom not knowing what to expect, so I told them, when we started, go out to your car, bring in your snacks, bring in your drinks. We're going to be in this classroom setting all day. Yeah? I said everything was safe except for frozen grapes, green or red, or double stuffed Oreos. So from that day forward, every day of firearms training, there was a fresh package of, well, almost every day, there was a fresh package of double stuffed Oreos waiting for myself and the other firearms instructors for the length of their training. So 1803, thank you. Before the presentation of the Firearms Award, I would like to extend from myself and the entire firearms cadre our appreciation and congratulations for your success so far, and to friends and family, thank you for being here. The Firearms Award, or the Top Gun Award, is given to the cadet whose proficiency scores achieve the highest overall shooting level for the Academy class, combining scores from daytime, subdued lighting, and for the Firearms Award for Class 1803, the award goes to Class President Robert Bungars. I'm taking this.
Next, we will award the Defensive Tactics Award, and present this award is Senior Probation Officer Mike Cotignola.
We're too busy to eat cookies during defensive tactics, so we don't barbecue or do any of those fancy things they do at the gun range, but we do work for 80-plus hours. So, with that being said, the Defensive Tactics Award. We have the cadets for 80-plus hours of defensive tactics, unarmed self-defense, how to take custody of people offensively, how to defend themselves. God forbid they're ever victimized. They're going to be in a position where they may become victimized someday. So we do a lot of unarmed self-defense. We also get to deal with less than lethal weapons, batons, tasers, chemical agents. So we have a lot of fun with the cadets, and I encourage all of you. This is definitely, I heard a couple people say it, this is the beginning. This is far from the end. Continue physical training, mental training, and emotional training, and I look forward to seeing you all back here at advanced and specialized classes. The Defensive Tactics Award is presented to the cadet who has shown the highest level of proficiency skill, combining assertiveness and professionalism throughout the training block. By the unanimous decision of the instructor team evaluating this class, both on your physical test as well as your written test, the award goes to Cadet Brian Perlozzi.
The next award to be given is the Defensive Driving Award, and to present this is retired deputy and driving instructor Dominic Desiato.
You know, sometimes people ask, well, you know, why we do this. It's the entertainment factor. I mean, when you get the cadets on the first day, some of them don't even know how to open the hood of the car. So, quick story. We teach them how to change a tire. Whichever tire happens to be in need of being changed that particular day. Now, it was not this class, or else I wouldn't tell this story. But it happened to be a front tire that we needed to change. So we show them how to jack up the car, we show them how to change the tire. A couple of days later, one of the cadets comes back and goes, what you showed me didn't work. And I go, what do you mean? I put the jack where you told me to jack it up, and I couldn't get the tire off. I said, which tire went flat? The back one. They put the jack up underneath the front tire, because that's where we showed it. So that's what I mean, the entertainment factor is worth $1 million, okay? All right. The Defensive Driving Awards presented to the cadet who has not only passed the written block exam, but demonstrated the highest levels of proficiency skills throughout the 48 hours of vehicle operation training. The recruit performed the time driving exercises with the least amount of errors, combined with the shortest completion time record, which we use our stopwatches to evaluate. So class 1803, top driver is Cadet Elizabeth Rieger.
First Responder Award is the next award to be presented, will be presented by driver and engineer Kerwin Stokes with Tampa Fire Rescue.
It's a pleasure to be here. I think they're dying to know that, yes, you guys are my favorite class. All right. The First Responder Award is presented to the cadet who not only demonstrates a high level of proficiency during the applied practical medical emergency scenario evaluation, but also ranks as the highest combined scores for both the CPR exam and the medical first responder final exam. Just to give you guys a little bit more information, we have them for about 6 days, give or take. There's actually 3 exams that they take in total. Like it mentioned here, the final exam for the block, the CPR exam that they have to pass with the 84%, as well as the final practical. So it's pretty intense, fast-paced. Would you guys agree? Yes, all right, so for class 1803, this award is presented to Robert Bumgars. It was a pleasure.
The academic award is presented to the cadet with the highest grade point average based upon a cumulative overall average involving 18 comprehensive examinations, and it is my pleasure to present this award. Before presenting the award, though, I would like to recognize the entire class for an outstanding overall academic average. In the 12 years that I've been here at HCC, the Sheriff's Office has always stressed and maintained very high academic standards. So much that the Sheriff's Office classes combined in my 12 years have actually maintained a 93.329 average for every cadet. Class 1803 exceeded that average and now actually ranked second, only behind Deputy Smetana's class from 2010, with an average of 94.148. So they did their whole class a round of applause. Before announcing the winner of the academic award, I would like to recognize those cadets who also achieved outstanding academic averages and were among the top 5 in the class. Please pay very close attention to the numbers I'm going to present here and realize, number one, just how close they are to each other and the effort that these cadets put into the academy. When I call your name, please stand and remain standing until the second place runner-up is recognized. In fifth place, with a GPA of 96.722, Cadet Thomas Jenkins. In fourth place, with a GPA of 96.778, Cadet Justine Town. In third place, with a GPA of 96.833, Cadet Elena Oliver. In second place, with a GPA of 97 even, Cadet Ricardo Nagan. Thank you all for your academic excellence. You may be seated. And now for the first place academic award winner, which goes to a cadet that achieved an overall GPA of 98.889, beating the old record held in the Sheriff's Office of a 98.76 that was set in 2011. To put this in perspective, out of the 18 exams, there's 1,225 questions that they answer. He missed only 11. Shouldn't have missed that many. Cadet Walter Marquez. The last award to be presented is the Merit Award and will be presented by John Meeks, the Director of the Criminal Justice Institute.
All right, class, I think Mr. Snap must be slipping on his exams to only miss 11 questions. I think we're going to have to go back and revisit that. Congratulations, it's outstanding. Quite frankly, I feel kind of dumb. I don't think I would be able to compete with this particular class. The Merit Award is presented to the cadet who demonstrates an overall outstanding level of academic achievement, individual professionalism, and skill throughout this entire training program. This is a very prestigious award that is recognized statewide as being presented to the best all-around cadet who's excelled in multiple areas throughout this entire training program. 10 different special criteria are applied to this particular award. It is my privilege to present the award for Class 1803. This award goes to a cadet that was recognized as a top 5 finalist in 3 of their previous awards, as also recognized earlier for academic excellence. So without further ado, I'd like to present the award to Cadet Elena Oliver.
We will now proceed with what Class 1803 has been eagerly waiting 22 weeks for, graduation. Class 1803, prepare for graduation.
Ready? Stand. Left. Face.
Brandon Allen Berg. Jordan Bruce. That's what it's all about, folks. Robert Gunnar Bungars. Alejandro Correa is not here.
I should have read that. Can you
Yeah.
explain where he's at?
Yes. Cadet Correa is actually preparing for deployment. Besides being through the academy, he's also a lieutenant in the National Guard and is actually getting ready to be deployed. So he is being prepped for that. That's why he cannot be here tonight. But we did want to recognize him for his achievement as well. Todd Farrell. John Fulton. Safira V. Garcia. Cody Gibb. John A. Grahava II. Morgan Golich. Thomas Jenkins.
Right, face. Ready, seat. Left, face.
Zachary Lloyd. Walter Marquez Jr. Rashida McKinnon. Ricardo Antonio Nagan. John W. Nix III. Elena Oliver. Erica Pinson. Brian J. Pirozzi. Samuel R. Porter III. James Provencio.
Right, face. Ready, seat.
Ready, stand. Left, face.
Elizabeth A. Rieger. Jeremiah D. Roth. Vanessa N. Russell. John Shannon. Brian Skonecki. Ronald Slater. Elena Stein. Christian Stevens. Alexandra Toops. Justine M. Town.
Right, face. Ready, seat.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Law Enforcement Academy Class 1803. Please feel free to come forward and take pictures with Class 1803 and to join us for refreshments in the foyer. This concludes today's ceremony. Cadet Bungarts, you may now dismiss the class. Class, attend to! Dismiss! All right!